Hello, everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series, we're going to brand new unit on outsourcing in just a moment. We'll talk about the language of outsourcing, including vocabulary, not just to talk about outsourcing as a concept, but to actually do it. Some transactions which will help you in your outsourcing. That's a bit about my class. Here's a bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up. That means turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom quiet. Tune in to the new words you're learning when you are speaking so I can give you feedback and correct you. Last, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. Here is our unit. I'll put it on screen right now. Outsourcing. And you can download this yourself if you need to by going to the class material on the Verbling sign-in page, where you click the green Join button. Underneath the video window, you'll see class material, and you'll see this, which is presentation 1, and you will also see a set of notes called Getting Results in Business Notes. That's where I'm going to put corrections and new suggestions for you. Okay, before we begin, let's just say hello to everyone. Welcome back, Daniel and Sylvia. Nice to have you back.
Hello again.
Hello again. Let's say hello to... Hello. Let's say hello to Raphael. Are you the same Raphael as before, or are you a new Raphael?
Actually, I'm not sure. When you mean before, you mean the last class?
I mean, you remember me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're the same Raphael. Okay. Good. And Khaled, I remember you. I think you're from Libya, right?
Yes,
Khaled?
of course. Yes, your memory is very good.
I'm saying your name wrong. It's Khaled, isn't it?
Yes, Khaled, yes.
Khaled. Okay, very good. Nice to have you back.
Thank you.
And let's see, Carlos Fuertes. Hello, Carlos.
Hello.
Is this your first time?
Yeah, it's my first time.
Okay, very good. And where are you from, Carlos?
From Spain, Valencia.
From Valencia. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Carlos, and then we've got Hainalka. How do I say your name?
Hi, not Hoyanka, my name is Cornel.
Oh, it's you again with a different name.
Yeah.
Cornel.
Hoyanka is my wife.
Oh, okay. Say hi to your wife for me. Cornell, gotcha. Okay, here's what we're going to do, everyone. When we begin a unit, the first thing we need to do is to generate as much vocabulary as we can. I want to see how much you know about the business topic. So we generally start by looking at the picture and trying to connect the picture to the theme of outsourcing. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to start with a discussion first. So if we move ahead, in this unit we're going to be talking about outsourcing, presenting factual information, which is something you're going to have to do in a transaction. Later, specifically apologizing and responding if there's a problem in the outsourcing in some way. And finally, grammatically, we'll be distinguishing when to use the passive voice, like the book was written. That will come up a lot because in outsourcing, you'll be talking about a process, and the passive voice is a good thing to use in a process. Well, the package was sent by us, and it was received by so-and-so. So that's an example. In our starting point, we're going to just get some basic vocabulary about outsourcing. But here's what I want to do first. I want to start with this question. What is outsourcing? Let's start by getting a definition. Who wants it? What is outsourcing?
I can answer.
You certainly can.
The outsourcing, it's we use in the business between the company when the company used to be or used the normal process in the company moved.
So moving the normal process. Where do we move it to, Khaled? Oh, we lost Khaled. Oh, he'll be back. Well, let's finish his definition. He said it's used in business, and it happens when we're moving the normal process. Where do we move the normal process to?
To third people or to third person.
Third party. Daniel, third party.
Okay.
Third party means not the company, not me, but someone else, a third party. And we use that all the time, that expression. Use it, move it to a third party. I agree. That's exactly right. Khalid is back.
Hello, sorry. Maybe
So
problem in connection.
No
Can you
problem.
hear me now? Yeah.
So we added one little piece of information to your definition. We said moving the normal process to a third party.
Okay,
So,
to the third party. Okay.
okay, I think that's a pretty good definition for now. So we'll go with that. To a third party. Let me ask a question, Raphael. Let me ask you this question: why would we want to outsource? Why would we want to do it?
Maybe because it's cheaper sometimes, or you don't have everything to. It's really hard to explain.
You might not have what?
Everything you need to keep the company working.
Good. Everything you need. Keep the company. Instead of working, we're going to say running. Raphael. Instead of working, we're going to say keep the company running.
Okay.
Because that's the right expression, to keep the company running. Okay? And I could add to that as well. You might not have everything you need to keep the company running. You might not have everything you need to do a project. It's not always the entire company. It could be just something you're doing in particular. Okay, very good. I agree with that. The next question is, does your company or a company you know outsource any of its products or services? Let me ask that one to Mr. Carlos, because you're new. What do you do for a living, Carlos? Are you working? Are you studying?
I'm studying. I'm doing a project because I finished my degree and I need to do a project. It's like a master thesis.
I see. And what's your degree in?
It's industrial engineering, but I think in your country, my engineering is a global engineering. I think in your country you specialize in mechanical, electrical.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea, actually. I have no idea.
Yeah.
If you say industrial engineering, to me that makes sense, but I don't know.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Okay, let's think about some companies you know in that sector, in the engineering sector. Can you tell me a company that works in that sector, Carlos?
Okay. Yeah. Maybe not engineering sector, but technological sector. For example, Apple.
Okay, so you don't want to go with engineering. Really? Why not?
No. No, we have a lot of engineering companies, but with my degree, I can work in some companies like Apple too. It's difficult to explain.
Okay, fine. Let's go with Apple.
Yeah.
So, does Apple outsource any of its products or production or services, in your opinion? From what
Yeah.
what do they outsource?
They have a lot of industry in China, and they contract some processors, for example, some chips from China.
Ah, okay. Who makes their chips?
Different companies. I can't remember the name of the companies. Sorry.
Because I'm saying, who makes chips in China? Is AMD? Is that a Chinese company? I don't know who makes their chips. If it's AMD or if it's someone else.
Samsung, yeah, that's crazy, but Samsung provides Apple chips, okay?
Yeah, they're always getting into fights. The
Yeah,
two of them
yeah,
together.
a
Okay, that's
little crazy, but yes.
that's a good example. That's a really good example, actually. So they'll outsource the chips to China. Maybe Samsung will make the chips.
Yeah,
And Raphael told us earlier that it could be cheaper, or it could be that they don't have the resources, right? That's the two. If we go back here, Raphael says it might be cheaper. You might not have everything you need for the company, or you might not have everything you need for the product or project. So what's the case here with Apple? Why are they outsourcing to Samsung? Why? They've got plenty of money. Why can't they make their own chips?
no, it's because they need a big amount of chips, and the only company that can provide all this quantity of chips is Samsung, because Samsung is really big, and it's for this reason, not for the price in this case.
So we don't say a lot. We say mass production.
Okay, mass production. Okay, yeah, mass
So
production.
they need a mass production of chips.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good example. Very good, very good. And let's go into the last question here. Cornell, let me ask you this one. What are the advantages and disadvantages of outsourcing for the company and the customer? Now, you can talk about Apple, or you could talk about another company, or you could talk in general. But let's divide the screen here into pros on this
Okay.
side. and
Okay.
cons.
First of all, I think the main disadvantage concerning the outsourcing that there is no enough qualified workforce in China. It is
Okay.
it is very important, and there is some problem with quality as well.
Say again, the last part?
Uh, Quality problem.
Yeah, I got it.
It is very important.
Qualified workforce, got it. And I
Yeah,
thought you
qualified workforce and quality problem of the product.
Okay, so let's call that, in business lingo, we're going to call that quality assurance.
Yeah.
So we can say there's a quality assurance issue when you're outsourcing. Okay, that's a good con to be aware of. Okay, so quality could be a problem when outsourcing. Absolutely. Okay, and what about a pro? I mean, we already talked about the price, so maybe cheaper production.
Regarding workforce, it is cheaper production, yes, and cheaper expenses.
Less expenses, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say not cheaper, but less expenses.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you give me an example of what you mean by less expenses?
Production cost is less than in Europe, for example.
Okay, well we talked about cheaper production, but when I think of expenses, I think of things like, all those extra costs, shipping, logistics, like those, So it seems like
okay, shipping cost and freight and logistic rates includes expenses.
Yeah, so wouldn't it be more expensive to outsource because of the shipping? Like the expenses, so wouldn't that be a con? Instead of less expenses, now it could be that the production is so much cheaper, it doesn't matter. But in terms of expenses, I think we might have more expenses due to logistics. I don't know if we could cut down expenses by outsourcing. I don't know. It depends on what company, but I would say probably not. And that's one of the issues, isn't it? Here's another con. Here's one I'll add. What about?
Sorry, teacher.
Yeah.
I think, from my opinion, you can make less expenses by, because the operation cost or also the free management time, and also reduce the cash outflow So it's kind of optimize your resources. Because many companies have a lot of staff without any work. So, but this staff will take training, insurance, a lot of things. From the company without any good activity. So when you fire the staff, and hire the third party, so that time you will feel like optimize your resources very well. So sometimes cut off the operation costs or something like this. Maybe, yeah.
So as an example of that, give me an example. Give me a concrete example.
Concrete example, I am from the telecom sector. It's usually the telecom sector, like mobile operator, Vodafone, name any big mobile operators,
Right.
AT&T, or they focus in their core business. Mobile and telecom, and so planning of the optimization of the cell, and the telecom sector itself. But the IT, they keep the IT for another third party like HP or I don't know, any computer or IT company. So they focus in the core business. They don't need to hire a lot of IT staff in their company. Maybe a little stuff, and because they will focus in the core business. Same with the banking sector. Why they need IT, a lot of IT staff?
Wait a second. Why do they need IT staff? Not
why do
why
they need?
do they need? Exactly.
Why do they need? Okay.
So in other words, they'll be draining the resources if they hire something that someone else can do better than them, basically is what you're saying. They're going to put a strain on the resources. That's the idea, right? Right, Khaled?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So maybe logistics, depending on the product, logistic expenses may go up, but operational costs might actually go down. So it's a kind of a balance. Okay, well, these are some pretty good ideas, and what we need to do is maybe we need to get some of these ideas also down in our notes as well. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get to a second set of vocabulary in just a moment. But first, I'm going to take some of our keywords from this discussion and I'm going to add them to our document. So I'm going to create a new unit right now. Our last one was making business decisions. So right now we're on to Unit 8. This we're going to need again. Right there. This is going to be called Class 1. This is Unit 8. This is outsourcing work. Outsourcing work. These are our old notes. We don't need them anymore. And what are we doing? Class 1 is starting point. Starting point. And today is, what is today? What's the date?
20 October.
20th. 20th.
Yeah, 20th.
20th, yeah.
There you go. So it's the 20th of October. Okay, very good. Here's what I'm going to do. This needs to go on a separate page. Let me get rid of that. Page break. Okay, so I'm going to add a little section here for vocabulary, which we're going to call words. And I just want to summarize some of the good vocabulary that we've come up with so far. Okay, obviously, outsourcing, to outsource can be a verb as well. Outsourcing as the noun, meaning the activity of outsourcing. That's good. By the way, we're on page 5 of the notes if you want to copy this for yourself. But I want to go back to some of the things we've talked about. So, operational costs, great vocabulary word. Optimizing resources. Whoops, not spelled like that, sorry. These are all great vocabulary words that we've generated just by talking about this. Workforce. Reducing the workforce. Maybe. What else? Quality assurance. Quality assurance. Another good key vocabulary word.
Core business.
Core business is very good, yeah. Core business. Mass production, right? I heard that. Also just logistics. It'll probably come up. Logistics. Okay, that's good. Let me go back to the other pages and see if there's anything else. Outsourcing, mass production, fine. Cheaper. Raphael was said, keeping company, we'll put X, running. It's a good expression to keep in mind. Also third party. Third party, not third person, but third party. Okay, it's a pretty good list of vocabulary for outsourcing, and all we've done is just talked about some general things. It's not bad at all. Maybe we can use some of this and expand our vocabulary by looking in a more descriptive way. Here's what I mean. I'm going to go back to our unit, going to go back to the very first page, and we're going to try something a little different. In this picture, particularly if you need to get your English assessed, in international tests, they may give you a picture or they may give you a prompt. Prompt means some kind of sentence that you have to comment on, or an idea or a concept. But often it's done with a picture. So what you should do when you approach a picture, you should approach it in a structured, concise way. And I've given you a tool for that. And in fact, I don't think I have it in your notes anymore. Let me just double check, but I don't think I do. Nope, I don't have it. In the old version of the notes I did, but what I'm doing now is creating little presentations for all of my little tools, but I don't think I have one yet for the picture tool. But nonetheless, I can tell you what it is. In fact, I'm going to put it on screen as well. I have to just go to my notes. So what we tend to do is say a detail or two, say what you see, speculate about why you're seeing. That's step 2. Try to find a connection to the theme of outsourcing. We would probably add information to that. So say what you see, guess why. If possible, compare and contrast. Compare and contrast to something that you're familiar with. Let me go to my material to open the old version of this. Give me just a second. Getting business results. I think it's here. And then the last step, you're going to draw a conclusion, or if there is no conclusion, you're going to summarize. And in each of those 4 stages, we have some key words that we're going to learn. In fact, I'm going to put them on screen for you as soon as I get my document open. Give me just a second. One second here. So we're going to try this as a class first, and then you'll have a chance to work on it individually as well. Give me just a second to figure out where my notes are. Hold on just a second here. Sorry, my document is opening very slow, and I have this on an old document. Give me just a second here. What's wrong? This is not where I want it to be. Maybe, oh, here it is. Okay. Describing a picture in Unit 1. Okay, got it. Here we go. Okay, let me share my screen with you quickly. Oh, there's Shadow. Hello, Shadow. Let me share my screen with you quickly. Steps. So those 4 steps I outline are here. I'm going to copy and paste these to our new document. Okay, so you have a copy of them. But what's going on with this? Give me just a second. There we go. Okay. It's not letting me copy and paste. Come on, let's go. There we go. Okay. So what I've done here is I've added key vocabulary, and I'm going to try to add a little more today. But you can see there appears to be, there most likely is, there seems to be. Maybe we can add 1 or 2 expressions. Guessing about why. There may be, I suppose, I'd imagine. What it has to do with the theme is, you can be very explicit in that case. And then finally, comparing and contrasting. Both things have in common, whereas what they have in common, offering a personal preference. I prefer, well, I'd say all in all, in a nutshell. I'm going to see if I can add a little information to that today. So first, let me put this in your new notes. Maybe I have it here already. I do have it here. So it is in your notes already. Never mind, I'm crazy. It's there. It's on page 16. I thought for some reason it wasn't there, but it is there. It's on page 16. Okay, but this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it as a class first. So just answer each individual question one at a time. We're going to go around the room. I'm going to be very specific, and your answers to those questions will form a description. So underneath words, I'm going to put exercise 1. Exercise 1. Describe the picture. Find more outsourcing vocabulary. All right. So let's try it like this. Whoops, what's going on with my computer? One second. One moment here. Computer problem, hold on. There we go. Okay, so we're going to find some important words about outsourcing by discussing the picture. We're going to create one answer together first, but afterwards you can further develop your own answer, you can practice, or you can just practice using the answer we come up with, try it out on your own by repeating it, and it will get the key words into your memory. So, if we go back to the picture, let me get the picture back on screen. As you speak, I'm going to write down the answers too. There's our picture. So, Sylvia, are you there?
Yes.
There is a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Sylvia?
Yes.
There is a girl. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
Ah, there's a girl. Yes, there is. Shadow. Is there a girl?
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. Is there a girl or are there girls?
There are girls.
Ah, there are girls. Raphael, are there girls in the picture? Yes? Yes? Raphael? Raphael?
I'm here.
Are there girls in the picture?
Yes, I see women.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are.
Should I answer the same way?
We're going to try short answers first. Are there girls in the picture?
Yes, there are.
Yes, there are. Are there boys, Raphael?
No, there
There.
aren't.
Good. No, there aren't. So what I'm going to do is pick out a few details for you first in these simple yes-no questions. And all you've got to do is repeat the auxiliary verb in the answer. So, there are girls in the picture and there aren't boys. Khalid, are there monkeys in the picture?
No, they aren't.
No, there aren't any monkeys in the picture. Of course not. There are girls. There are girls. Let me see. Cornell, are they American, do you think? Are they American girls?
No, they aren't.
They don't appear to be American girls. I wouldn't imagine so either. You're absolutely right. So, Daniel, there are American monkeys in the picture, right?
No, they aren't.
Oh, what are there?
I don't know.
What
Where?
are there? There are
There are Asian women.
Asian women or Chinese girls. We don't know.
Chinese
Asian women, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Korean or I can't tell. I can't
Yeah.
tell, but they appear to be Asian. Okay. Very, very good. And oh, Carlos disappeared right when I was about to talk to him. Come back, Carlos. And Sylvia. Oh, there's Carlos. So Carlos, the girls are wearing jackets. Are the girls wearing jackets?
No. No. Wait. Oh,
No what?
sorry. No, they weren't.
No they?
They don't wear jackets.
Listen to my question. Are they wearing jackets?
No,
No,
they aren't. Sorry.
No, they aren't. Okay, no, they aren't. What are they wearing?
They are wearing work clothes.
Work clothes. Are they wearing work clothes, Sylvia?
They are wearing blue. I don't know the name. Vest.
Exactly. But are they wearing work clothes? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, they're wearing work clothes or uniforms.
Uniform, yeah.
Uniforms, right. They're wearing uniforms. Sylvia, should they be wearing uniforms?
Yes, they should.
Yes, they should because it's probably kind of dirty in the factory and maybe they can protect their clothes. Okay, so they're wearing street clothes, right, Shadow?
Sorry?
They're wearing street clothes, right?
No,
No, they aren't.
they aren't.
No, they aren't. Should they be wearing street clothes?
No, they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't. They might get dirty. Okay. And they're making clothes? Are they making clothes, Shadow?
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. What are they doing exactly?
I don't. They maybe. Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
They are doing I don't know. Khalid? They are the women are doing I don't know. Is that right?
No.
What are they doing?
They collect the piece of cloth.
What do you think, Cornell? Are they collecting pieces of cloth?
I don't know punctual product name. They are the products which will import to Europe.
Oh, you lost.
Sorry,
You lost.
export.
You lost me. I just want to hear yes they are, no they aren't, or simple answers. I'm too confused.
Okay.
Are they collecting cloth?
No, they aren't.
No, they aren't. I agree with you. What are they doing? What are they doing? Are they doing something with their hands?
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. They are doing something with their hands. Daniel, what are they doing with their hands? Are they making shadow puppets?
No, they aren't.
No, they aren't making shadow puppets. What are they doing?
I think mm,
They're
they're
Carlos, what
they're
are they doing?
making.
I think they are sewing.
They are sewing. Fantastic. Daniel, they're sewing.
So
Are they sewing, Daniel?
Yes, I think they're sewing.
Ah, there we go. And let's say a quick hello to I don't know how to say him. Is it how to say your name? Is it Nak? How do I say your name? Our friend from Vietnam. Is it Nak? Or Thailand or Vietnam? I'm not sure. Nak Tao. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. Turn on your microphone and just say hello to the group when you get a chance, okay? Remember,
Sorry, teacher. They are
Yeah.
sewing.
That's right. They're sewing.
Sewing
They
is
absolutely
mean
are.
cutting, right?
Sewing using
S-A-W-I.
S-E-W-I-N-G.
S-E.
E as an egg. They're sewing.
Okay, sewing. Yeah. Okay.
Sewing. Pronunciation is so. Like so what?
Sewing.
Exactly. They're sewing.
Okay.
They're sewing. Are they sewing for fun, Shadow?
No, but teacher, what? Is it wrong if I said they are knitting?
That is wrong because they are not knitting.
I thought it's knitting. It's. What's the sewing? What's the difference?
The difference is knitting has big needles the size of your hands, and sewing uses a little needle. Sewing connects things together. Knitting creates the actual clothes itself. Knitting is very wide, sewing is very small and narrow.
Yeah.
There's also weaving. But here they're sewing because they're connecting the clothes together. What do you think they're sewing, Shadow? What do you think they're sewing?
Clothes?
What kind of clothes?
Maybe hospital clothes.
Hospital clothes. Okay, maybe that is. What do you think, Cornell? Are those hospital clothes?
No, they aren't.
Okay, very good. What kind of clothes do you think they are?
It is difficult to respond to the question.
Why? Are you
I
afraid?
don't know.
Don't be afraid.
We should ask the company what is the main product.
Anyone want to make a guess? Sylvia, what do you think that is?
It's like the wedding, I mean. Sorry.
Oh, wedding gown. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's a wedding gown. Daniel says it's a fair costume. Maybe it is. I thought it was a wedding dress as well. I wasn't sure. By the way, just to let our new friend know, our new friend whose name I cannot pronounce, we're describing the photo to get more vocabulary for the topic of outsourcing. So this time we're going to learn a skill, which is a describing skill, and get some more vocabulary, okay?
Yes.
Can you just tell me how to say your name, please, so I can pronounce it correctly? How do I say your name?
My name is T-S-A-N.
I can't hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Say again?
Sorry.
She must be a baby.
No, she's not a baby. She just has a picture of a baby. Nice baby, by the way. Could you just repeat your name because I want to say it correctly? Is it Nak? Is it like that? Nak? Cornell, I know it was a joke. Okay, I don't hear her. Listen, we're going to move on. In the first round, I asked you some yes or no questions to get some details. Sylvia, do you think you could summarize the details we've talked about so far? What do we know about this picture?
Okay.
What do we see?
It's a
Don't
pair.
describe it. Don't describe it, just a list of details. We're going to describe it together. So summarize the details we got so far. Just summarize.
girls, young woman, so marriage dress and uniform, blue uniform.
So wearing blue
Wearing
uniforms.
uniform. Mm-mm-mm.
Okay, good. Sewing wedding dresses, probably wedding dresses. So we got young women sewing wedding dresses, wearing uniforms. Okay, that's good. That's good. And Daniel, would you add anything to that list?
Yes.
What?
New word. Production chain.
Production
Production chain.
chain. Okay,
It's a
very
kind of
good.
production chain, no?
Could be. Could be. In other words, everyone has a different part of the dress to sew, and they pass it down the line. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, I could agree with that. It's a kind of a production chain. Could be. Could be. Okay, so the first step was to say what you see, and that's exactly what we've done. In the next step, we're going to compare and contrast, and I'm going to do that by asking some very specific questions. So, Cornell, is this like the place where you work? Is this like the place where you work?
Sorry, could you please repeat the question?
Sure. Is this place in the picture similar to the place where you work?
It is not likely.
Okay. What's the difference?
Picture must be created in Asia.
Okay, so for one thing, it's in a different location, right?
Location, yeah.
Probably in Asia. Okay, I agree. What's another difference based on what you see in the picture? Based on what you're seeing in the picture, what's different about the place where you work?
I think this workplace is not well organized, and there is no enough how to say in English. There is no enough good qualified workforce, as I mentioned before.
Can you see that in the picture? Can you see that they're not qualified? Oh, you got to focus just on what you see. I can't tell from this picture if they're qualified or not. I can't tell. About organization.
You are right. It is not important because these girls are operator.
Okay, workers.
Yeah.
Right, not operators, workers.
Workers.
The reason they're not operators is because there are no machines, and specifically there's no big machines like a forklift at a port. That would be, you'd be a forklift operator. But in Latin languages, and maybe, where are you from? Hungary? I can't remember where you're from.
Yeah, you are right.
Maybe in Hungarian you say operator to mean worker, like in Italian and in Portuguese and Spanish.
They are the same in Hungary. Operator and workers are the same in Hungary.
Okay. So they're workers, and we don't see management. That might be important. I don't know. We don't see the management. Now, that could be that there isn't any management, or that it's not well supervised, or that they don't need management. We don't really know why, but we can't see it. But that could be a difference from your workplace. Just could be one. Okay? And Carlos, I'd like you to tell me, are the clothes they're wearing the kind of clothes you would wear at work?
No, because I work a lot with my PC at home.
Oh, I thought you were going
to lecture room.
I thought you were going to say you work without clothes. I don't wear clothes when I work.
Yeah, I don't wear this kind of clothes. I wear normal clothes to go to street.
Street clothes?
Yeah, street clothes.
I see. So you don't wear uniforms. You don't need to wear a uniform.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't need to wear business clothes? A suit?
Not at this moment. Maybe in the future I will need it.
Very good. So far what we've talked about is the place, probably in Asia, maybe not so organized. There's workers, we don't see management. We've talked about the clothes. Okay? Shadow, what's one difference in this picture from a place where you work, or a place that you know about, or a place where you plan to work? You're going to be a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
So is
Uh,
this what your law office is going to look like in the future?
Maybe present. I mean this.
What?
I mean this picture. It's crowded. The place is very crowded. I don't think it's like that.
So it's a bit crowded, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
How would that make you feel to be in a crowded place?
Um, it's not that comfortable, but it looks like they working hard. They don't they don't care about the place more than their work.
Hmm. So they seem focused.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's crowded, maybe not so comfortable, but they're hardworking and focused. So maybe it's not as bad as it looks, or maybe they're just used to it, or maybe they have no
Yeah.
choice. It's really hard to tell from the picture. Okay, but it's not bad. We've talked about the place. We've talked about the clothing that they're wearing, because we can see that. We've talked a bit about the people, the fact that they're hardworking and focused. It's not bad. So these are three ways we could compare and contrast to something that we know. Now what I want you to do is to actually do the full set of using this keywords, using the full set on page, what did I say it was? Page 50? I forgot. Someone remind me what page the connectors were on. Was it page 50? Hello? Can anyone hear me?
16.
Hello? 16, is it? Oh, I thought it was on. Oh, you're right. Yeah. 16 and 17. For me, it's on 17. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so I want you to take some of the ideas we've generated and any of the vocabulary we've talked about in the past, all of which is under today's class. And I want you to use the connectors on page 17 to do it. If you're going to take one or two details and say what you see, you're going to guess and speculate about why you're seeing it. In other words, how it connects to outsourcing. Compare and contrast to something that you're familiar with, and finally, offer a personal opinion. I'll give you one example before we begin. Well, there appears to be a lot of women in the picture. I suppose that men wouldn't work in this kind of factory, and I guess that the female labor is probably cheaper in this part of China, where I assume it's in China. It kind of reminds me of what you hear about Apple, that they're always outsourcing to places where people don't make a lot of money, and there's been some terrible events and controversies in the past. People have, committed suicide, jumped off the top of buildings, and I think it was the Apple factory with the iPads or whatever. And because you see crowded conditions, I wonder how happy they really are. So all in all, I'd say this is a good example of the downside of outsourcing, because they seem to be crowded and probably, I'd imagine, cheaper than regular workers like in the States, so they're probably underpaid. And that's it. I went through all four stages. I said, there appears to be. I could have said what this has to do with outsourcing is. I didn't, but I could have. I think I said I suppose. And about comparing and contrasting. Well, I don't know if I used any of those. I forgot exactly what I said, but I could have said what they both have in common is that what both this and the United States have in common is that people have to work in factories, whereas in this picture the conditions are a bit more crowded. Maybe they're underpaid because they're in a developing country. So all in all, then part 4 I concluded. Okay, Sylvia, take it away.
Yes.
Go for it.
It seems to be girls and young women who are working in a Chinese factory. I suppose I suppose that they are sewing some fashion clothes for some companies like H&M, and uh, because there are so many girls who are working a little space, and maybe they are not paid enough for the work that they are doing, and they are working for 16 or 18 hours per day.
Compare and contrast now. You can compare and contrast this picture with another workplace.
In spite of European workers. I don't know.
In spite of European workers doing, being, having, you need an ing. In spite of
doing in Europe, I think they are they're working more and not paid in only one word. What's in English? The term?
The term for working?
No, it's not working when
they
are like slave.
Slaves? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't know the name. Okay.
Are you talking about people who are like slaves but are not slaves?
Yes. And they work a lot without receiving enough money.
You mean, well, we have a slang expression called wage slave. A wage slave is someone who earns per hour, like English teachers. Shh. That means we don't earn a salary. We only earn for showing up and being physically in a place. But that could also be graphic designers. Any kind of freelancer is a wage slave. Or you could mean a judgmental term like underpaid. They are underpaid. That means they don't earn enough per hour. I'm not sure what you mean exactly.
More the first one.
The wage slave. Wage slave. So that means it's a virtual kind of slavery. Usually we're joking when we say wage slave. But it can be a real thing too. It doesn't have to be a joke. It means you're underpaid. Wage slave. You'll see that as number 12 on our vocabulary list for today. Wage slave. Okay, good. And how would you wrap it up? What's the all in all in a nutshell?
I really prefer European work because you have a set hour for work, only 8 hours per day at least. That's all.
Okay, good. Okay, very good, very good. Daniel, what is the meaning of intellectual work? Good question.
Could you repeat?
I'm repeating Shadow's question to you. She says, Daniel, what's the meaning of intellectual work?
Okay. You can think deep.
Give an example.
Maybe an intellectual work is I don't know, to design something in a PC.
Okay, and what would manual work be?
To do maths.
And manual work would be?
A manual work
would be?
Would be sewing, no?
Sewing.
Yes.
Okay. Sewing, labor, like construction, like building, like digging, all that is manual work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. We have time for maybe one more. So Sylvia went through, it looks like 3 out of the 4 stages. I didn't quite hear the summary, but that's okay. You don't have to do all of them. So I heard 3 out of 4. So I'd like to hear someone else try. And remember, your key expressions are on page 16 of the notes. Anyone else want to give it a try before we go? No one, really? Silence. Okay. All right, listen. Your homework is going to be to describe the photo like we did using the key expressions. I'll send it to you. You can send it back to me to correct if you write it, or you can say it orally in the next class and we'll listen to it. Either way, okay? And Jennifer, I know you joined us a bit late, but basically I'll send you the homework as well, and I'll send you what we did in class. You can take a look. Okay, that's about it. If you got to go, you have to go. Just so that we're clear, what we did today is we basically brainstormed for vocabulary. I'm just going to write this in our notes. Vocabulary related to for outsourcing. Outsourcing. And now you should have a basic set of words that you can use to talk about outsourcing. And the next thing you're going to do is describe the photo that you see using some of those words. Okay, you can send it to me, or you can just say it in class if you want to do it orally. That's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow for 2 hours, starting at 10 GMT, and this class will be at 11 GMT, just like it was today. Bye for now, everyone. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
See you.